Hey Guardians, this is Arkham here, and I'm bringing you the gameplay of the match in which I unlocked the Unbroken title. It's been a pretty long 3 seasons getting the legend each time, and this was a pretty good gameplay that showed off some strategic and good plays on Countdown Eternity, so I figured I could break it down for you guys and see if anybody would be interested in this sort of content. So, inspecting the opposite team as we started, they're full of spectral blades and a few running the Air and Tail fusion rifle, which is a pretty effective weapon around tight corners such as maps like this. So in general, what I like to do on the start of a match, especially when playing defense, is come to the middle hallway. A lot of teams would like to push this middle hallway, and if you can split the team you're facing, then you have an advantage. Right here I'm trying to play really close to the corner, that way if I see a fusion rifle charging, I can back up. That's really the only way to counter these type of play styles. So my teammate gets picked on beach, and I notice as I push up, the second one gets picked. Very fortunate this hunter slid around the corner without a shotgun. I got the nice crispy 3-tap on the dude on beach, finish off the enemy that my teammate had weak with the wombo combo, and then I put a shield up because my priority here is to get the revive, as I know they're going to have theirs. Now I throw the grenade to the right of the nipple on the cover, that way I can get the charge on them as I'm playing Code of the Commander, and I have a nice viewpoint as I move back to the left of the bomb. I have them cornered on each side. So it was just pretty fortunate that both got tagged with the detonator, and I was able to pick one off, and the chain explosion took care of the other guy. So that was a pretty solid start to the first round. On offense here, this is a pretty balanced map. So again, the middle control of the middle hallway is pretty important. So as you're seeing here, you can kind of watch the radar and see if the enemy team is going to push you. I don't see them pushing in too far, so I must know they're on the other side of the hallway. I missed some shots there and have to back down after getting weak, and I see my teammates being pushed on beach, so I want to come back and help them. But people I'm playing with are extremely good with their gun skill, and Gun gets a nice pick off with a sniper rifle that he's amazing at. So I have this person weak behind the block, and my thought process is here is I want to use my vertical space to shoot down on him to get the pick. It was a pretty smart play on his part to retreat to hallway there, so he gets away. But since we have a 4v2 advantage, we're going to play aggressive here. I get the call out that the guy's in hallway, and he's focused outside. So I get to pick there, and that's a good example of what a fusion rifle can do against you. If you're caught out in the open with one of those charging, you're going to have perfect aim to take it down before they pick you. So at this point, it's just up to my teammates to get the 3v1, and they handle it, no sweat. So that's a good example of rotating on the map. As you can see, we pushed toward to plant the bomb, and we got the call out that they were rotating back. So again, the middle hallway control is vital in controlling the flow of the map, especially when teams want to crisscross and flip back to the opposite bomb setting point. So again here, as you can see, the main theme of this video, as I said, will be controlling this middle hallway. That's the crucial point of this map. So we're just trying to want to play a little passive here to see where the enemy team is going. 90% of the time they're going to push beach. As we see there, we saw one of the enemy hunters go flying by. So my teammate gets a nice pick there, and we're able to, well, I thought we team shot that guy down, but that was a nice pick off by Hajinga there to get the cleanup. And my teammates will take care of the rest here. They're going to get the res on me, but since we already have an advantage, now it's up to me to push this guy. So we're both wanting to push the guy on beach. I think we had a miscommunication there, and one of my teammates is going for the res while I was pushing the enemy guardian. But it just so happens that we get another res off, but in the same time, they do as well, so now we're down a man, and when you're in a 2v1 gunfight like that, it's pretty much impossible to win. So that was a pretty good example of what miscommunicating with your teammates can do in a countdown match, especially when there's revives in play. In general, you all want to be on the same page and push the same thing. If you have a numbers advantage, it's always beneficial to push the enemy team. As you have the numbers advantage, you can put more damage down than they can from multiple angles. So here again, as you can see, I'm peeking the middle lane, but my teammate gets his spectral blades out. So when you get a super up first, you really want to play around that super. So he's going to pop the super and be very aggressive. And I'm repositioning myself to the bomb site, trying to get a good angle if they're going to rotate around. But we had no idea that one of their teammates had rotated down to the bridge on sand, so he had a good line of sight on me. So as you can see there, playing Sentinel Titan, I think it's really beneficial if you have the Ursa Furiosa to put those on when you have your super up, especially in round-based modes like this. If you can take some damage with those Ursas when you put them on and get your super back, even 25% going to the next round, more than likely you're going to have a second super up by the time the late game comes up, which you'll see happens actually. So this is a tie game here, and coming in, I have my super. So what we're going to try to do is play off of my super. And the good thing about being a Titan with the Code of the Commander is you can actually dual Spectral Blades. If you play it right, you can cause them to stagger when they're swiping at your shield. So this is a good example of a push. The hit detection comes off a little late there. And I thought this guy was going to jump off the map, so I turn around to pursue the rest of his teammates behind on beach. I actually take some damage there with the shield up, which you'll see in a minute, that gets me my super energy back. So with the thought process of circling around the alcove there was to force that enemy back to where my team's fire, where he'll be outnumbered, which is exactly what happens. And that was actually the Guardian that I thought jumped off the map to prevent orb generation. He actually stayed alive, so I got the call out and was able to attack him from an angle he wasn't expecting and finish him off. So as you can see, I get well over 50% of my super back just by blocking damage there when I used Ursa. So when you don't have your super, if you have those on, if you have Ursa on, it turns into a dead exotic. So I like to switch back to something more neutral like Mask or even Antaeus Ward. So we decided to switch the strategy up here and come Keyhole, which is a very good idea to do if the enemy team has predicted where you're going each time. So with this change, my teammate pops the Spectral Blades and pushes, but he got team shot down. So that was a good play on the enemy team's part. So after the bomb is set here, our main priority is just to defend the bomb. I have this guy weak, and I'm thinking, well, I'm going to hop over the cover and blast him with my shotgun. But he makes a very good play in backing up, which is exactly what you should do when you're going to be shotgun rushed. You want to create that space between you to where you'll have time to put shots in with your primary or finish them off with your special weapon. It just so turns out that we delayed enough after the bomb is set to actually win the round. They didn't have enough time to come and defuse the bomb, let alone wipe the team to get the defuse. So once you plant a bomb, it often becomes a matter of delaying more so than wiping the enemy team. The strategy shifts after you actually plant the objective. You want to focus on protecting the objective more so than wiping the enemy team, unless you absolutely have to. So we're in a pretty bad spot here. The enemy team has 3 Spectral Blades up to our 1, but I'm very close to having my super back. So again, you see that we're trying to control the middle hallway. That way we can dictate the flow of the match. We have one person pop, and this is a play I like to do. I like to play the geometry off the floor of the walls with a suppressor grenade. And 9 times out of 10, when someone pops a Spectral, they're going to push you aggressively. So I tried to short throw that grenade a little bit, predicting that the enemy was going to come forward toward my teammate to kill him. But that was a good play on his part, that he used his Spectral Blade to bait out my suppressor. So I definitely fell for that. So with the super advantage here, the enemy team is pushing. They're doing a pretty good job. So in this situation, my teammate Gungeon, who is an amazing shot, he's pretty cornered here. He's trying to do the best he can just to get to defuse and get some super energy back with a pick or 2 of his own. That's another good point to make, is if you're outnumbered in a situation, don't just go down without a fight unless you absolutely think that the enemy will just play passively and increase their super energy. You at least want to try to get a pick on yourself. Go down swinging. If you get a pick, you get super energy out, and it doesn't give the whole team super energy, more so than just the person that killed you. So here again, they still have 3 Spectral Blades up. I'm about to get to my super. This is actually a pretty disadvantageous position to be in, going up against 3 Spectrals. So once again, we're pushing. We're trying to get to the hallway. And our strategy here was that we were trying to bait one of the Spectral Blades, and then as they came out of the hallway, we're going to try to team shoot them down. But that's a very difficult thing to do at this time and this point in the game, especially in a comp setting. So we just wanted to get the round over as quickly as possible without allowing them to generate orbs and chain those into other Spectral Blades. So the main point of the middle rounds here, when the other team, especially if they're running full Spectrals, has super, is to just manage their super energy as best as possible. So I like our chances here. We have my Sentinel and a Spectral up against their 2 Spectral. So in situations like this, it's going to be more about getting a pick first and pressing that advantage more so than winning the super game. So the enemy team gets smart here and throws a smoke through the middle hallway that we've been trying to control all game. And with the Void Wall Grenade, we're basically denied that area. The Void Wall Grenade or any sort of area control like that is very good on maps like this. My teammate Gungeon gets a nice pick there. So with that, I like to make aggressive pushes anytime one of my teammates gets a pick. They've got the bomb down, so my objective here is to defuse the bomb. One of the great advantages of Code of the Commander is that you can not only dual Spectrals like you're about to see here and get the win, you can also defuse bombs in objective mode just by blocking. So as you see there, not only did I tank the Spectral Blade, kill him, and eliminate that orb generation resource, I also ended up getting the last pick and the defuse. So using Code of the Commander situationally like that is highly advantageous. That is definitely a great way to counter some of the meta tactics going on in comp right now. So here, our strategy is that my teammate is going to pop his Spectral and be super aggressive with it. At the same time, I know I have a suppressor up. So he's pushing middle hallway, and we're trying to bait the Spectral to come to me. I see it, I bounce the grenade off the wall like I planned earlier, I get to suppress, and I actually end up getting the kill there because my teammate put enough damage and the detonator went off. So at this point, we just want to play super aggressively. Gungeon got a great pick with the sniper rifle, we still have Spectral Blades up, and we're pushing. So with that push, we get the numbers advantage. And with that numbers advantage, there's only one Guardian left on the enemy team, and it's just a matter of time. And my thought process of flanking behind here was to shoot from a different angle. One thing that I think goes unmentioned a lot in Destiny or competitive games in general is that you need to have teamwork coordinated to where you can approach the same enemy from different angles. So for example, two of my teammates pushed head on that enemy, and I elected to turn around and get a different angle to shoot at. That way you have multiple people looking at the same thing from different ways. If that enemy had tried to run back through middle hallway, I would have been there to finish him off. So you really want to corner enemies when you have a numbers advantage and really push that advantage. So guys, that was a breakdown of Countdown to Eternity. That was my last match to get the Unbroken. It has definitely been a long 3 seasons, as I mentioned earlier, and I've really enjoyed it. Even with all the problems that comp has and all the complaints that go around, it is super fun of going in and testing your skill. And one thing that I think needs to be mentioned is that a mindset shift will really help players improve. If you take every match and focus on what you did wrong and really make strides to correct those mistakes, you will become a much better player. So guys, that has been a breakdown. I appreciate you stopping by, and let me know if you'd like more content like this in the future. Thanks.